In the video today, we're answering a viewer question because Keith D asks us, I was just wondering who came up with the expression, "This ain't my first rodeo." For the uninitiated, this ain't my first rodeo is roughly equivalent to telling a person that you're more than prepared for a given situation or that it offers little challenge to you. It's more often than not used derisively, usually in situations where a more experienced person is being given unwanted or unwarranted advice by someone else. The phrase is similar in inclination to the British idiom, "I didn't come down with the last shower." Shower in this case referring to rain, and then there's the other expression, "I wasn't born yesterday." As to the origin of the expression, it would seem it isn't nearly as old as you might think. The earliest known documented utterance of it was in the 1981 film Mummy Dearest, a film adaptation of a book of the same name chronicling the life of famed actress and dancer Joan Crawford. The book was a somewhat controversial tell-all memoir written by Crawford's deceased fourth husband's daughter, Christina Crawford, where she portrays Joan Crawford as something of an especially wicked stepmother. A version of the phrase is uttered by the actress playing Crawford in a particularly well-acted scene in which she is informed by the Pepsi board of directors that she is going to be forcibly removed from the board. In response, Crawford verbally threatens everyone present by stating that she will publicly slam the company and its product in an attempt to bring it down if they remove her from the board. When a board member tries to reason with Crawford, she angrily yells, "Don't f*** with me, fellas. This ain't my first rodeo." While it is certainly true that the real-life Crawford was on the board of directors for Pepsi after the untimely death of her husband, the then president of the company, Alfred Steele, and it's also true that the board threatened to remove her, there is little evidence that Crawford ever uttered the line in real life. However, it hasn't stopped the quote from being attributed to Crawford time and time again. In reality, as far as documented evidence goes, the quote should either be credited to Faye Dunaway, who played Crawford, or one of the film's writers, though which of them came up with the line is unknown, as they've seemingly never been asked. Of course, it's now several decades later, so it would be a wonder if they remember the details accurately, or at all anyway. In any event, 9 years after the release of Mummy Dearest, the country singer Vern Gosdin released a song simply titled "This Ain't My First Rodeo." The song was reasonably successful and is often credited as the source of the expression, but in reality, it simply went a long ways towards popularizing it. According to Vern, he first came across the phrase after complimenting a couple of carpenters who were working on his home. One of them responded, "This ain't our first rodeo." The phrase intrigued Vern so much that he jotted it down and later turned it into the song. Others credited with bringing the phrase to popular attention include NASCAR driver Darrell Waltrip, who is recorded as having said it in 1983 during a post-race interview, and a Southern University coach named Gerald Kimball, who used it in 1989. So I really hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please do give us a thumbs up below, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We got brand new videos every day of the week. And as always, I'll see you next time.